Hello and welcome everyone to Roofing Insights. It's Marketing Thursday here, and today I'm breaking the silence about call centers in the roofing industry. I'm going to talk about 5 worst and 5 best call centers out there, and I'm finally going to break silence, compare them, talking about my experience. I've used these 5 guys right here. I'll talk about expectations from contractors, expectations from call centers themselves. We'll talk about some ugliness and some business that have been taking place last couple of weeks. I've been trying very hard to stay off the Facebook, not to engage with anybody. Now I'm a little bit cool and I'm ready to share my knowledge with you. Thank you so much for coming. So call centers. First thing I have to say, and what I want to start this video with, is for everybody to understand what quality you can expect from call centers when it comes to roofing leads, what audience you're reaching, and how important is timing when you're getting those leads. See, call center roofing leads are going to be very different from your Facebook leads, from your Google pay-per-click leads. The biggest difference is how they are generated. So call center leads, they're cold calls. Just like door knocking, people don't like to be solicited. People don't like calls, whether you're getting calls about warranties or whether you need a new car. We just don't like it unless we have a need. Obviously, it's a little bit different when you have an area or zip code, right after hurricane, storm, or major hail. Now you're looking for the contractor, you get the call kind of on time, and it maybe might make sense to answer a phone call and say, oh yeah, I actually I am looking for a roofer. I would like to get an inspection. So timing is very important for the call centers, and most call centers can produce a lot of leads when they're hot. So pretty much every month or every quarter, you have areas that's got either major hail, like right now we have something going on in San Antonio, we have Dallas heat, we have Cocoa Beach heat in Florida. Those areas, that's where call centers are working. Roofers are deploying there and everybody can generate leads. Now, that's been said, call centers usually cannot produce good quality leads off season. Like for example, I've paid $5,000-6,000 at a time to somebody here. I'm not going to mention names, but I literally throw up money at those call centers. One of the reasons I did, because how aggressive they are with their claims, with their promises. When they go in and say, well, we're the best, we generate the most leads in the industry, we have the biggest call center, give us a try. So now you pay them $5,000. 2 months later, 3 months later, you still have maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 15 leads, and out of those, maybe 2 good ones. The reason is timing was bad. So if you're the contractor and you want to try call centers, first thing I have to tell you, it's not going to solve your business problem. You're not going to become rich fast. Even if they can generate you something, it's not going to help you on the long run, and it's not going to help you consistently. It's good to have good friends with a good call center. So every time hurricane or hail hits, you have somebody you can pick up a phone and say, hey, let's call this area. It's an hour from me and I want to see if you can bring me jobs. But here's the deal, guys. If you have good brand and you establish a retail company, you don't really need a call center. People will call you. And that's, I guess, my biggest, not the issue, but contradiction, the biggest talk with the call center. How good are you as a marketer or a lead generator if you can only generate leads when there's a feast going on, when everybody has jobs, when everybody's looking for the contractor? It's not very hard. So if you need a call center to generate leads after the storm, maybe you have to rethink about your branding and your marketing strategy overall, because I can tell you, good roofers, they don't have a problem to generate business without call center. I'm not saying that call centers are not needed. They are needed, but if call center can only produce you after the storm, you can door knock after the storm. And another one too, it's audience. People get tired really fast by door knockers, by 10-15 calls a day. This industry, call center industry, also getting very competitive, and people literally getting called 15, 20 times a day, and they're getting irritated. So you're probably not gonna be very happy to serve somebody when you're gonna arrive and hear something, yeah, I have 15 door knockers, I have 15 calls, and I told them I don't want them, I have 1-year-old roof, but they insisted to have you here, so go ahead, but I'm most likely not gonna sign. I mean, this is kind of audience you get. You have people who already not very warm, and you have to work really hard to break that initial ice. Now, if you're good at sales, you'll overcome it, you'll get some business of it, but again, that audience is gonna be very different from other audiences you're probably reaching right now. And quality, again, talking about quality, guys, each call center will have different expectations of quality. Some people will send you point of contact, say, well, they're in the area, you gave me zip code, we gave a customer there, go sell them, right? Some people will give you quality only, the quality lead will be only if they have hail damage, or if they agree to inspection, they have a need, right? So some people will say, well, quality is a quality. Like, I gave you the phone number, I gave you the address, you owe me, $175. Well, for me, if I arrive there and people tell me that they told the person on the phone that they don't want me there, and they still insisted on inspection, he agreed just to be nice because he's a nice person, that's not a good lead. He didn't have a damage, he didn't want an inspection, you forced it to him, and now I want my refund because quality, it doesn't mean any phone number, any address. It means somebody has to have a need. That's my definition of quality. Maybe you'll accept any phone number for anybody, but we've run leads where people literally just replaced roof like 3 weeks ago, and we still were getting leads for that. So now I want to talk a little bit more about call centers, what we have going on in the roofing industry. So I did use Jack with the Hail 911. I used NextGen with Akeem. I used Best Storm Leads with David. I used Reason with Malachi. I used Qualify Storm Leads with Latif. Congrats, Latif, you just sold your business. Looks like new team is coming, taking over. You're still involved. Looks like so big shift. Latif, probably one of the pioneers in this industry. Been doing it for a long time. Some people even breached out from him, and obviously there's been a lot of talk over the years. Some people, I remember talking that Keem was buying leads from Latif, and everybody knew. I mean, think about this, like every roofer knows each other. Like, I know all the roofers in town. There's only 5 companies, so these 5 guys, they know each other, they tag each other. Last 2 weeks was absolutely crazy. Lots of talks, lots of accusations. A lot of people over the last year was saying that Keem is outsourcing her leads from Jose in Mexico. She was denying it. She's saying, no, I don't. And nobody really cared. Nobody made big deal out of it. Nobody cared if she does or doesn't. People cared more for her not admitting it. Again, I'll talk more about Keem and NextGen and each one of them in particular, but what worked for me, guys, and this is just my experience, you're probably different. I know a lot of guys in my circles, really good friends, who made Qualify Storm Leads work for them. I would say this, there's either 5 of these guys, I don't care who you choose, they're honorable, they're truthful businessmen, they're honest people. David, Malachi, Latif, Keem, and Jack, all 5 of them, if they're not gonna make it work for your business, if you don't connect on higher level, just business transaction, all of these people, they don't want any client. I mean, obviously they want clients, but they want clients who understands this, who understands quality, audience, timing, and who understands that it's not gonna work all the time. Sometimes you'll have 2 good leads out of 10. Obviously for me, it's not acceptable. I cannot afford to waste time on 8, empty or bad leads. Some of them will give you 5 good ones and 5 bad ones, and you might accept it, might work for you. But all of these guys, they're very good with refunds. If they're not gonna, like for me, only 2 of them worked over the years. It was Hail 911 and NextGen. Keem and Jack are the only 2 centers that we actually got a good return on investment. I would say as far as quality goes, it's like this. It's up and down all the time. One week, NextGen will give us a little bit better leads. Next week, Hail 911 give us better leads. And the reason is because the timing, the audience, the quality, because maybe some information we were giving them, because you have to tell a call center what area you want. Do you want them target this zip code or 45-mile radius, or whatever the case is? And so I would say these two, for me personally, they were the best. Now, we did use Best Storm, we used Reason, and we used Qualify Storm. Just didn't work out. We got refund in all three cases. Some cases we prepaid, some cases we paid as we go, and I'll talk about business model for different centers. But would I recommend somebody else Qualified Storm, Reason, or Best Storm? Yes, I would. I would say go and try them. Maybe it'll work for you. If it does, great. Good for you guys and good for the roofer. Now, see, in business, it's more like, for example, you might like 3 shingles but install only 1. I might like all 5 of these people, but I'm only going to do business with 2. It's just impossible to offer all services to all people, but also it's impossible to do business with every service out there. You have to team up with somebody who understands your business. I think Latif was very close to me personally. We understood each other, we understood what we wanted, but I'm too busy doing too many things, he's too busy doing too many things, and we just couldn't make it work. And also timing was bad. I think it was like November. After, I think we prepaid like $6,000, and after 3-4 months we didn't get more than like 10-15 leads. Do I blame Latif for that? No. I mean, we made it work. We got partial refund. He hopefully got like $1,000 or whatever for 10-15 leads he sent us. The same with the Reason. He tried really hard. Malachi is a great guy. I mean, I know he bust his ass for us, but he couldn't make it work. Am I blaming him? No, it's just something guys didn't click. The same went with the Next Gen and Hail 911. Sometimes, and I told him, and when I talk to people, I'm very careful. It's private conversations, but it's the first time I'm making it public. But I told him a few times that sometimes her leads were better than Jack's. And I told Jack when his leads were better than Kim. Again, it's a healthy competition when you know what everybody else is doing. Now, that was pretty part of my video. Now I want to go to things that a little bit more on the negative side. I'm going to be very careful. I want to talk about outsourcing. Outsourcing is not bad by any means. I support outsourcing. Everybody outsources, but you have to be honest about outsourcing. For example, I own roofing business for over 5 years now. When people come to me and say, Dmitry, who does the work? I tell them, yes, we outsource. We do have subcontractors. You're not going to lie about it. But there's a big difference if you're going to say you outsource and that you have a subcontractor who works for you on a regular basis. Just like, go to any hospital. Even doctors in the hospital, they're technically 1099 outsourcing agents for that hospital. They're not employees. So it's very common practice from tax perspective and many others. So it's good for the business, it's good for the sub. You just have to be honest about it. And when people ask you, you just say, yeah, I outsource. But the thing is, when I ask you, if people would ask me, Dmitry, do you outsource? And I tell them, no, I don't. All the work is done by employees. And then jump on the Craigslist and find questionable a person to do the work, and he goes in and something goes wrong, and all of a sudden it blows up. The story blows up that I've been outsourced and I didn't have any crews, I didn't have any employees, and I was just doing it. So that's what happened kind of here. Some people were very open. I know Latif, a lot of, he pretty much moved to Mexico, so all his calls are coming from Mexico. Some people, I think Malachi is one of them, outsource them from Philippines. And I would say, as far as outsourcing, you can be US based. Like Hail 911 is the only fully American company. Jack talks about it all the time. I can't blame him for that. That's his market advantage. He built great culture, great call center. He talks about it just like any roofing business. If you manage to have only employees in your roofing business, you probably top 1%. This guy right here, Jack, he managed to build call center just in the United States. Great. I mean, he could outsource it to Philippines or Mexico. If you talk to him, he will tell you why he didn't. My only thing with the whole outsourcing thing, it's a quality. As long as it doesn't affect the quality, I don't care where calls are coming from. I don't care how much people are making who are outsourcing. You give me quality is good. But here's the deal. Jack is the only one who was able to produce phone calls, recorded lines, phone calls, and the only one that I know that records the conversations. So a lot of others, you know, like when you arrive at an appointment and people tell you that, hey, we told them we don't need them to come. We told them our roof is 1 year old. And you're like, man, and they still scheduled it? I would like to hear how that conversation went. And none of other competitors of Jack's are providing information about phone calls. Like they're not recorded. Maybe there's legal reasons behind it. I don't know. But what I know that Kim was constantly accused. Kim is the only one who did not admit publicly or did not announce that she's outsourcing. And she made a video a couple weeks ago that, you know, it was pretty dramatic video. Didn't have to do it, like nobody was after her, but she pretty much finally admitted, say, yeah, I did outsource when I was busy, which is, again, nothing wrong with it. Nobody cares. I didn't care. Like I knew a long time that she's outsourcing. She never admitted it. She tried to cover it. Again, Kim, you guys, you and Paul, you're awesome people, love you to death. I think it would be better if you would just be open about it, how other guys, but again, guys, it's not a big deal. Nobody ever said it is. The biggest problem with the outsourcing is legality, and what we have seen, especially last year, I talked to a lot of people in the industry, that calls from Philippines and Mexico are lower quality calls, and they're getting all of us in trouble. Because if a homeowner is getting irritated, if homeowners putting complaints, I mean, I don't want anybody to hurt my business. I build my reputation, and it takes years to build. I don't want anybody to keep calling on my behalf and being rude or being too persistent, too pushy over the phone, because it's, you know, I don't want to start getting negative reviews online because of the person who represents me somewhere in Philippines or Mexico for that matter doesn't care, right? So that's the only thing I care about. As long as people in those call centers care about quality, represent me the way I want it to be represented, I'm okay with it. They speak English, they polite, they're good, we're good. What I hear though, that those call centers, they don't care how many calls to make, they abuse the system, and that word probably going to be my key term here, key problem with outsourcing, because when you pay people $1, $2, $3 per hour and you give them questionable list, because at the end of the day, all the call centers get the same data. So like, for example, Cocoa Beach, Florida. I don't know how many people live there, but it's probably just no more than, I don't know, 100,000 people. So you have all these call centers from different countries now gonna be calling, and how aggressive they're gonna be. I know what Jack does, and one of the, like, recently Jack kind of like separated himself from the rest of the crowd a little bit. And I'm not taking Jack's side. I still will buy, you know, from other people. But Jack kind of said, listen, we're careful who we dial. It takes time. It takes time to generate quality leads. He's more in the quality leads, what I've seen, than other people. And he said, we're not going to abuse the system. He was trying to make a lot of posts, a lot of even videos, trying to engage everybody. Hey guys, just don't abuse it, right? Play by the rules. There is enough money for everybody. Let's just not destroy ourselves in this fight. And I agree with it. So my message, I guess, to all call centers out there, if you can invest, I know it's not a lot of money, and I don't know legally if you can do it, but if you can invest in recording phone calls, I know even when you do Google pay-per-click, when people click on a website or call from the website, marketers record phone calls. So a lot of marketing companies are doing it, so I don't think it's illegal. I know in Minnesota it's one party rule, so you know, I know I'm recording, I don't have to let you know. But I think recording phone calls will solve a lot of problems, because when you sending us a bad lead and we go there, even when we get refund, we still waste a lot of time. We wasted drive time, it's opportunity cost. We could be doing something else. Maybe we would be door knocking the area. Now we're running 5 leads and only one of them is bad or good, right? So another big thing is I want to mention is prepaid versus pay as you go. And I know this is really touchy subject for both roofers and call centers, because I only mentioned 5 good ones. I promised you that I'll do 5 more. To be honest with you, I don't have energy exposed negativity anymore, but there's at least 5 more call centers. They're either too small or there's too many questions how they operate. I can't even put them on the board. I wouldn't recommend anybody outside of this list. If you have a call center and you want to earn a reputation and you want more business, and I would like to talk to you, maybe review and see what are you all about. But I've been burned. We all know the story. I've made a couple stories already with the other call centers. It's really easy to take money in the prepaid and never deliver anything, especially in this world, right? In the call center world. So what I recommend is obviously for call centers, it's hard to do pay as you go. Both Kim, I know Kim, we've been doing one of the best jobs. Everybody else wanted chunk. I know Latif recently just changed that it's going to be like $500 or something. I highly recommend everybody, roofers and call centers, agree maybe on the minimum service fee, like in the beginning, like a couple $100 just to sign up, and then pay as you go. Pay as you go will fix a lot of issues in here. Because when you send us invoice for 5 leads, and if we have to even prepay 5 leads, and let's say they're 125, I've seen prices go up to 150, 175, 200. So you send me 5 leads at 200, I just paid $1,000. If only one of them are bad or good, now I just have one good lead for $1,000, and I have to fight you for $800 refund. It hurts you. You know, it's just not worth it. Now, if you send me good leads and we agree that they're good leads, we agree on the quality. Now, if it's pay as you go, before we even do the work, we have to agree on the quality in your term and in my term. Do we agree what quality lead is? If we agree and you agree to send me a lead and pay me as you go, and I know call centers probably going to struggle for some cash flow too, because there's a lot of roofing guys who honestly, they're just not good at paying bills. So I would say this is probably going to solve the problem. Recording conversation will solve the problem. And honestly, how many calls do we need to make? How many appointments do we have to have? Call centers right now, I think, have a leverage over roofing industry because they don't need 100 clients. They need a couple players in each market, and those players will buy all their leads, essentially. I mean, that's what's happening. So we probably need them more than they need us. So I don't know how this would affect us. So if you're sending me good leads and I'm paying them as you go, and maybe you send me 5 leads and I didn't pay a bill, guess what? Cut me off, go to next. I mean, I know it sounds rude, but what good businessman would not pay for good leads? The only time it's happening when leads are bad. So this is all I have for call centers. Again, love you guys all. David, Malachi, Latif, Kim, Jack. I hope you don't hold anything against me. Just trying to help, not trying to be negative. Just be open about your business. We'll be open with the recommendations. Maybe let us know if you need anything from Roofing Insights, or we can anything do for you. I know Jack have invited us to his office. Would like to visit that. Maybe do some content on that side of the business. Call centers are cool. They're generating a lot of business. I can only imagine how much business actually in the United States Jack generates for all his clients. The number's probably, I don't know, maybe $1 billion. So it'll be very cool to see cool call center. But like I said, these 3 guys, you're good guys, you're good dudes. Just do the best you can. Take care of the industry. We definitely need you guys. And let me know in comments below if you have tried call centers that are not here. If you want to shout out to somebody, or maybe you have similar experience to mine, or maybe complete opposite. Maybe top 2 didn't work for you, but top bottom worked for you. I mean, I don't know. Would like to hear from you. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Only 6% of our viewers come from subscribers. 94%, what are you waiting for? We know who you are anyway. Click subscribe button now.